All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring something a little different. Macadamia nuts. But not just any macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts specifically for macaws.
For macaws.
Yep. We're checking out Monica's Mac Nuts.
Yeah.
This company, well, they're all about these buttery treats for, well, birds.
Interesting.
Right. You're probably thinking macadamia nuts for macaws. Seems pretty specific.
Yeah, a little niche, right?
Maybe, but their website is actually packed with some really interesting stuff.
Oh, like what?
They talk about how they farm sustainably, all the nutrition that goes into these macadamia nuts, why they're good for macaws specifically. And they've got these great customer testimonials.
So it's not just about the nuts themselves, it's a whole philosophy. It seems like they're really tapping into that trend of pet owners wanting the best for their animals, just like, how people are so focused on natural food these days.
Exactly. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's back up a bit. What's the deal with macadamia nuts anyway? I know they're tasty, but what makes them so special for macaws?
Well, macadamia nuts, they're originally from Australia, and they're known for that creamy, rich flavor. But it's more than just taste. They're full of healthy fats, fiber, and all sorts of vitamins and minerals.
So they're like a little nutritional powerhouse.
Exactly. And for macaws in particular, that high-fat content is really important. It matches up with what they naturally eat in the wild.
Makes sense. And Monica's McNuts, they don't just grab any old macadamia nut, right? I was reading on their site, they're really picky about where they get their nuts.
Absolutely. They're all about quality. They're macadamia nuts. They're all 100% pesticide-free, and they're air-dried naturally, not roasted or anything like that.
So all the good stuff stays in the nut.
Exactly. Keeps all those natural nutrients and that delicious flavor, which, of course, the macaws love.
Oh, and get this. They grow them on the volcanic slopes of Mauna Loa in Hawaii.
On a volcano?
Yeah, volcanic slope.
Wow, talk about exotic.
Right. So the soil there, it's super rich in minerals, which, that actually makes the nuts even more nutritious.
So the environment plays a role too, huh?
Oh, definitely. And then, air drying the nuts instead of roasting them, that also makes a difference. Really sets Monica's McNuts apart.
So we've got these amazing, super nutritious nuts. But why macaws specifically? What makes them like the perfect match for macadamia nuts?
That's a good question. So macaws, these beautiful, intelligent birds, they're from the rainforests of Central and South America.
Right, lots of lush greenery. And what do they eat in the wild?
In the wild, all sorts of things. Fruits, nuts, seeds, even clay sometimes.
Clay?
Yeah. But the thing is, macadamia nuts, especially with all that good fat and nutrients, they're like a perfect addition to a macaw's diet when they're, living in captivity. It mimics what they'd be eating naturally.
I see, bringing a bit of the rainforest to their cages.
Exactly. And Monica's McNuts, they get that. They even have all these different products designed just for macaws. In-shell macadamia nuts, smaller ones that are easier for them to open.
Oh, so they've thought of everything.
Pretty much. They even have special nut crackers. It's like they're providing a whole macadamia nut solution for macaw owners.
It really shows they understand what macaws need and what their owners are looking for. It's more than just selling nuts. It's like a whole service.
And speaking of service, there's this part of their website I just love, the customer testimonials.
Oh, yeah. Those are always great. Hearing from people who actually tried the product, it's the best kind of feedback.
And these testimonials are full of stories about macaws going crazy for Monica's Mac Nuts. There's one from Jeanette C., who says her hyacinth macaw, Max, eats a diet that's like 75% Monica's Mac Nuts.
Wow, 75%. That macaw must really love them. And it shows, that they're tasty enough for a bird to want to eat that much of them. I mean, you can have the healthiest food in the world, but if your pet won't eat it, it's no good, right?
Exactly. You've got to make it appealing. And it's not just about keeping the macaws happy. There's another testimonial that mentions a macaw who actually said, after trying his first nut from Monica's.
A talking macaw giving a food review. That's amazing.
Right. It's those little details that really paint a picture. You can tell Monica's Mac Nuts is making a real difference, not just for the birds, but for the owners, too.
It's like they're creating this little community of macaw lovers.
And that community is built on trust. These testimonials, they show the quality of the product and the positive experience Monica's Mac Nuts is creating.
It's more than just selling nuts. It's about building a connection with your customers. And that's so important, especially in a niche market like this.
And that connection, it even extends to their farm. They use horses for weed control.
Horses, really?
Yeah, just a small detail, but it shows how committed they are to sustainable and ethical farming.
That kind of thing really matters to people these days. More and more people want to know where their food is coming from and how it's produced, and that goes for pet food too.
So we got these fantastic nuts, sustainably sourced, and macaws clearly can't get enough of them. What else can we learn from Monica's Mac nuts? What's their secret, beyond the nuts themselves?
Well, one of the big takeaways for me is their focus on customer service. They're all about making sure everyone, the macaws and their owners, are happy. They're really going the extra mile to create that personal touch. And you can see it in everything they do, from the testimonials to the way they talk about their products on the website.
It's like they've built this whole community around their love for macaws.
Exactly. And that sense of community, it's contagious. It inspires other pet owners to look for products that are just as good and support businesses that share their values.
It's like you're voting with your dollars.
Right. You're choosing to support the companies that are doing things the right way. And speaking of doing things the right way, this whole conversation about Monica's Mech Nuts and how much they care about the
And Monica's Mac Nuts, they've got a whole website full of these great stories from macaw owners who are just raving about the nuts.
like Jeanette C. and her macaw, Max.
Right. Max, who eats a diet that's like 75% Monica's Mac Nuts.
Yeah.
But there are so many other good ones, too.
Oh, tell me more. What other testimonials stand out to you?
Well, there's one from a customer whose macaw actually said, after cracking open his first nut from Monica's.
That's amazing. Like the bird was giving his own little taste test review.
Right. It's those little details that make it real. It's one thing to read about the nutritional benefits, but hearing about a macaw actually enjoying the nuts adds a whole other level of, it makes you trust the product even more.
It's that social proof that we all look for.
Exactly. And it reminds us that there's a story behind every purchase.
And in this case, those stories are full of happy macaws and happy owners.
It's great to see. And it reinforces that idea that businesses that put their customers first, both the humans and the animals, they're really making a difference.
They're creating a positive impact that goes way beyond just selling a product.